friend, when I'm losing my mind.
Tonight, Chief Justice caught in the middle of a partisan war as the NPP and allied political parties form an alliance challenging the suspension of the Chief Justice, threatening to hit the streets in protest.
Democracy is under attack. Our judiciary is under attack. Expect massive protest from us.
What the president did was not in line with the constitution of this country.
So we will not sit down for them to jeopardize our judiciary.
We'll hear from the NDC, which is labeling the NPP and its allies hypocrites.
Let me put it on record. These are a bunch of hypocrites who have nothing to offer this country but total destructive tendencies. It's NPP. It's not any other party. They are surrogates of NPP.
Also tonight, Judicial Secretary Pamela Cranting resigns days after the Chief Justice Gertrude Torkornoo was suspended. Tonight, the Judicial Council has accepted her resignation. We have details. Top story, as always, brought to you by Telecel, connecting energies, holy insecticide spray and call. Enjoy a holy sleep. My name is Fostina Sarfo. Please stay for details. Tonight, the drums of political war beats with the Chief Justice caught in the middle of a crossfire. The opposition New Patriotic Party, together with 4 other political parties, which includes the Ghana Union Movement, the Liberal Party of Ghana, the People's National Party, and the National Democratic Party, have formed an alliance, all challenging the suspension of Gertrude Torkornoo. They have threatened to hit the streets on Monday, 5th of May, in protest. They say the suspension of the CJ is a direct assault on Ghana's constitution.
People should not go and formulate some rather remote ideas, and that constitutes political motive to remove individuals, right? From office, it is very material to the survival of our democracy.
Right.
Look, this is not about the Chief Justice person. It's about the institution. It's about the weakening of the institution. It's about the undermining of the institution that has consequence far into the future. So this is not a joke matter. So where the Deputy Attorney General is saying that this is technical, it is not for them to tell us that. It is our democracy. How people fought for us to have a democracy today, and for them, for their convenient political motive to set up this thing as though that we should believe in a committee that is set. We cannot hang our hopes on a committee. This is the people's democracy. It's not a democracy for 5 people.
Are you suggesting that in the event that there is a change of government in the future, whoever will be CJ then may be taken to similar exercise?
It will be fair game. It will be something that has been done before, so anybody doing it again will not be new. Ghanaians perhaps may have come to accept it, that is done before, the justification will be there for it, but inherently, what you are doing is weakening our democracy.
Democracy is under attack. Our judiciary is under attack. Do not think that this attack is on the person of Chief Justice Torkornoo. No, it is the entire judiciary. Expect massive protest from us. We will agitate. We will not sit down quietly. We will agitate. This is unconstitutional. Thank you very much, General Secretary, for the inspiration.
And in that sound there is the organizer of the NPP, Henry Nana Boakye, was speaking during the launch of the party's thank you tour on Wednesday. Well, we've been engaged in the Ghana Union Movement and the Liberal Party of Ghana, as well as the People's National Party, to get a sense of why exactly they're joining the NPP to protest the suspension of the Chief Justice. And we have been hearing from Kofi Akpaloo, flag bearer of LPG. He says they'll resist any attempt to politicize the courts.
So we will not sit down for them to jeopardize our judiciary, because you see, this country as we live in now, every institution has been politicized, except the judiciary. So we will not sit down for them to enter that place and destroy it, because that is our last hope. That's where, if anything happens to you, my dear, you run to. If your employer decides to terminate your contract unlawfully, where will you go to? It's the judiciary you go to. So when you go there, you are expecting to have a fair hearing. This is the first time we are hearing it, that the president is trying to remove a chief justice unlawfully. We are not going to sit down for them to do it, because the moment we allow these things to happen, it's going to continue. Anybody who comes to power next time will also remove. And the moment the chief justice is removed, the remaining judges will become useless. They will remove all of them. They will put fear in them. And when they are adjudicating, they will not have confidence to do their work. And we don't want that. If there's a case between you and an NDC member in court, what would you think the outcome is going to be? The judge is going to do everything possible to help the or supervise the NDC. So please, we shouldn't encourage this at all.
Well, the founder of GUM, Christian Kwabena Andrews, says his party has always been against the appointment of the CJ. He called on the President, John Dramani Mahama, to break that cycle.
In that sense, politicians are manipulating the whole judicial system in our country. And MPP came and they did their own thing, whereby they decided to send some of the judges to the Supreme Court and the others. These are the things that we don't want it to happen in this country of ours. You see, when we continue to do this thing, then definitely we are going to destroy our judicial system. MPP appointed these people, and these ones too, they too want to come and appoint a new one. So judicial system is going to be manipulated by these politicians, and we will not have any faith in the politician and in the judicial system anymore. So I think if this CJ is removed and a new one being appointed, it's not good. It will continue to be there like that, whereby every political party that will come will change, will follow the same suit and change a CJ and bring a new one. It is not good for our country. So I don't want it to happen.
The NPP government also appointed some judges. Why didn't you raise concerns then? Why all of a sudden now?
I did that. During the NPP time, I did the same thing. But Nanado will not listen. That is why now we are in this very situation. He won't listen. So let's see if your mama too will listen to us.
You heard founder of GUM, Christian Kwabena Andrews there. Well, the chairperson of the People's National Party, Janet Asananabla, says the president has violated the constitution and the removal of the CJ shows gender inclusivity is at threat.
The PNP is always the first person to always come out to protest. When the Chief Justice, when we heard that the Chief Justice was petitioned to be removed and those things, we're the first people to come out objecting to it, you see. So joining them in the protest is something that we were going to do our own before other political parties came on board that no, this is something that they should also do. So we are so grateful, and then we are happy and delighted that we have other political parties in the country that have seen that what the president did was not in line with the constitution of this country. He has violated against the constitution of Ghana, and that we are going to protest. When you look at even the scenarios, first, the president said he got a petition, and immediately he got the petition, he directed the petition straight to the Council of Elders. The law says that when you get a petition, you give this Chief Justice the opportunity to also look at the petition and answer. But that wasn't done. The writer gave the petition. The writer gave the petition straight to the Council of Elders. That is a violation of our constitution. And when people started talking, he gave the Chief Justice 10 days. So why is it that the president is behaving as if he has more powers than all other people and can do whatever he wants? This is a president who had a premandated mind that when I come, I will remove the Chief Justice. Their national chairman said the same thing. Their deputy secretary said the same thing. And truly, they've come and they are working towards it. That is unfair, and that is an assault to our democracy.
You heard there, Janet Nabla. But the NDC is firing back. They say that these protests they're needless. Let's listen to the Deputy Director of Elections for the NDC, Dr. Rashid Tanko Computer. So I'm starting the recording. So
okay. In the sense that where were they when Madam Cheryl Osei and Madam Amankwa, then Deputy Electoral Commissioner, and the Electoral Commissioner herself, and Amadou Sule rather, were hunted out from office? Where were they? Where were this group of people? Were they not in this country? Was it not the same constitution that was used, the procedure under Article 146 was used? This hypocrisy must stop. In any case, we have no problem with them. They are exercising their democratic right. The president has also exercised his democratic right to make sure that when a petition is presented to him, he passes it on to the Council of State. And if prima facie case is found against the person, then they trigger the procedure under Article 146. And that's what he has done. And nobody should stampede the president. We as a political party, the NDC, will stand solidly behind His Excellency John Dramani Mahama on this. We are not going to waver a bit about it. We support him on this process, and we will make sure that nobody should undermine his authority as the president in this country. Those who try it, they will have to contain us.
Thank you.
I'm grateful.
Well, you heard there, Dr. Rashid Tanko Computer. We apologize for the poor editing of that sound. But then we're just learning that the Judicial Secretary has resigned days after the Chief Justice was suspended. Kwekwa Santi, you've been doing some digging. What can you tell us?
Well, yes, we are just getting confirmation that the Judicial Secretary, Her Ladyship Sarah Pamela Cranton, has resigned as the Judicial Secretary. As part of her duties, she was also a Court of Appeal judge in this matter, and this is a memorandum that we have gotten a copy of, signed by the acting Chief Justice, His Lordship Justice Paul Bafuboni, and it says, at the 291st meeting of the Judicial Council held on Wednesday, 26 March 2025, the Council accepted the request by Her Ladyship Sarah Pamela Cranton to be released from the duties of Judicial Secretary. Wherefore, you are hereby directed to assume the duties of Judicial Secretary, pending the decision by the Judicial Council and eventual appointment of a substantive Judicial Secretary. Members of the Judiciary and the Judicial Service of Ghana and the general public are to take note accordingly. But here's a bit of a background because Pamela Cranton's name comes up quite prominently in the petitions for removal of Madame Gertrude Tokono and the subsequent responses that have been filed by the Chief Justice herself. The allegation that was made against the Chief Justice by one Daniel Ofori in his petition was to the effect that Madame Gertrude Tokono had paid more than 261,000 Ghana cedis from state funds to buy plane tickets for the husband and the daughter on private trips, and had also paid $30,000 as per diem for both of them on those private trips from the state funds, and he contended that that was misappropriation of state funds. But here's how the Chief Justice responded. Chief Justice responds that it was not her that took that decision, and that in fact it is the Judicial Secretary as the administrative person who's been leading some of those affairs in the judicial service who actually gave some of those go ahead on those matters. And in fact, when the auditors did flag that transaction, the Judicial Secretary, Sarah Pamela Cranton, actually explained that the Chief Justice had opted to use the privileges she's normally entitled when she goes on an official duty in place of her private personal trip with the husband and the daughter. And so that is it. Let me read specifically what this report said. It says that I respectfully present here with my appointment letter, which should have been added to the original bundle as DO1. It will show that the terms of the Chief Justice appointment include 2 round-trip tickets for official for a maximum of 14 days each. The Chief Justice is allowed to travel on unlimited occasions on official travel with spouse. Can it be suggested by any stretch of imagination, much less the making of a prima facie determination of wrongdoing, that when the Chief Justice travels on official vacation with a designated person, it constitutes misconduct. He goes on to say that the Judicial Secretary had actually written to the auditors who flagged this transaction, and the Judicial Secretary clarified that, quote, as Chief Justice, I opted to utilize the authorization in paragraph 9, paragraph 10 of the travel policy to travel with my spouse and my daughter during my 2 holidays taken in September 2023. So this is how Madam Her Ladyship Sarah Pamela Cranton, who is also a Court of Appeal judge, is mentioned in these allegations that have been made against the Chief Justice, which is currently the subject of investigation by the 5-member committee led by Supreme Court Judge Scott Porman.
Well, we have more tonight on Top Story. And Kweku, you've been doing some digging. Just explain to me what exactly you're finding.
Because if you look at the travel policy of the Judicial Service, it actually says that the owner of the judicial, the travel policy, the person who is the authority on these matters when it comes to the Judicial Service is the Judicial Secretary, because it says the primary responsibility of the Judicial Service is to ensure that the Chief Justice is accorded maximum security and required courtesies at all times, etc. And then it states in the travel policy that the policy owner is the Judicial Secretary, and then the implementers is led by the Judicial Secretary herself, her deputies, and other staff of the Judicial Service. And that is why the Judicial Secretary sets a key plan in these allegations made against the Chief Justice as regards the travels of Madam Gertrude Tokono.
Thank you, Kweku Asante. Well, let me bring in now the national organizer for the NPP, Henry Nana Boakye. I also have with me Dr. Rashid Tanko Computer. He is Deputy National Director of Elections for the NDC. We appreciate your time here on Top Story. I'll start with you, Nana Beam. Now, I've been going through your statement. You claim that there's a grand scheme to plant loyalists in the judiciary and also to reconstitute the Supreme Court just in time to push for that controversial interpretation of Article 66(2). Your biggest fear really is that the NDC is laying the groundwork for Mahama to run for 3rd term. What is the basics of this allegation?
That is our intelligence. And you see, this whole thing is a grand scheme. It's well put through. It's premeditated. Look, President Mahama met some NDC lawyers and then promised that he was going to change the leadership of the judiciary. He was going to remove the Chief Justice. The video is there. He is only implementing his campaign message. The national chairman is on record. Just recently, he granted an interview on Accra FM where he said that, after we clear the Chief Justice, we will also clear the Electoral Commission. And, I mean, it's been on the lips of all NDC members. My brother Mustafa Gbande is running around saying that, we will clear them all. The Electoral Commission is next. We are going to clear them. So you see, because if you look at the petition itself and the claims these petitioners make, it is frivolous. It's so hollow. It's baseless. In fact, Professor Asari even presented a petition with same fact, same matter, the Afenyo matter case, the same thing. How would you want to put a person through the similar fact, same thing, everything twice? I mean, this is double jeopardy. It is tried in law. You don't try a person twice for the same matter, same case, and everything. I mean, somebody says that he goes to court and then... I can
also see in the statement that the party is also accusing the NDC of planning to remove the Electoral Commission chairperson. What's the source of this intel you claim to have?
Yes, we have intelligence. In fact, they have already sponsored people. They have prepared the petition already, and they are going to present it very soon. In fact, this petition by the 3 people, Shining Star, a group called Shining Star, and all of that. I mean, you look at it and you know, yes, this is somebody, there's a certain hand somewhere putting all of these things together. That is what you just said. Our intelligence is that, and this is where it is dangerous. That is why we are saying our democracy is under attack. Our democracy is under attack. Now, there's a grand scheme. Once we have control on the executive, we have control on the legislature, let's also have control on the judiciary. So that as president, I will also make some appointments there.
But if you're claiming political interference, if you allow me to come in at this point, I'll allow you to make the point. I'll allow you. If you just allow me to come in at this point, I can hear you.
I have not finished. So I mean, if I land, I mean that would be fair.
Just clarify for me.
Panel, then we will put a matter of interpretation before the Supreme Court for Article 66, because I've heard some of their lawyers say that President Mahama only ran for one term, and then President Kufuor came for 2 terms. So the Constitution meant that you can go for 2 terms continuously. So this is a whole scheme.
Previous administration, if you're claiming political interference, the political interference that you're concerned about, the previous administration, you appointed 15 different judges. I'll get into that. So why are you concerned at this point? Let me bring in Dr. Rashid Tanko Computer. He is Deputy Director of Elections for the NDC. We've already heard from you. You describe this protest as hypocrisy. There's a fear right now that the judiciary is being politicized. How do you respond to that as a party?
My dear, let me say good evening to you and your cherished listeners. In fact, the group who are advocating saying that there is an attack on the judiciary and all that kind of thing are hypocrites. They are a bunch of hypocrites, and I'm saying that we must face it in the country and let them know that they are hypocrites. Look, they think we are short-minded people. They ruled this country for 8 years. And I'm happy we're going to end by asking about the appointment they've made to the Supreme Court. When they were making those appointments, they threw caution to air and just went ahead by appointing their former party parliamentary candidates as Supreme Court judges. They threw caution to air. Look, let me tell you, the first group to bastardize an independent body in this country is the MPP. Since 1992, when we started, I don't know whether my good brother, whether he was part of the process.
I want to get a direct response from you.
I'm saying that
Tanko Computer, allow me to come in at this point. I want to get a direct response from you. The NPP, they're alleging there's a grand scheme to challenge Article 662 in court and ensure the president can apply for another term. Is that the case? Is there a plan?
How can they design their own questions and expect us to answer those questions? Are we working on our head? You want MPP to determine to us how we should govern the country? They are already fearing their own shadows. They are already planting their own wicked, evil ideas into our democratic culture. That is so wicked. Which part of the process is that? Look, he just told a lie against His Excellency John Dramani. I was in that meeting in Kuma Edese when he met the lawyers, the NDC lawyers. I was seated in that meeting 2 hours. There was no part of the discussion where the president indicated that he was coming to remove the leaders of the judiciary. He should go and look at the tape is there. He told a fat, huge lie against the president. These are the things they are doing, and we are not pointing it out to them. I was in that meeting.
Are plans far advanced to remove the electoral commissioner?
They are lawyers.
Mr. Tanko, I want to find out from you, as a political party, you have intel. Are plans far advanced to remove the electoral commission?
Have we, in any part of our discussion during the campaign process, any of our leaders stood on any platform and indicated that should we get political power, we're coming to remove electoral commission? Compare that one to the MPP organizer, when he was a youth organizer, and his group in 2016. We don't know the people who were all over the place campaigning that should they get power, they were going to remove Charlotte Osei and her deputies. On press conferences upon press conference, they were threatening the woman and calling her names. And true to their words, when they came to power, they removed her. That was the first time an independent body was attacked. So that one was not an independent attack of the democracy of this country.
Taco, stay with me. Let me bring in Anabi to respond to these concerns directly. Nana, there are concerns that whilst the NPP, you were in charge of the country, you actually set precedents for some of these things by how you treated Charlotte Osei. Why are you afraid now, really?
Okay, that is never the case. Look, we should not be comparing apples with stones. In the matter of Charlotte Osei, Madame Charlotte Osei and her own deputies, they were making wild allegations at each other. Somebody was saying, "You are a thief. You did this. You had an infringement on the procurement breaches." They themselves. It never came from us. So when you have an institution like Electoral Commission, where the leadership of that institution are fighting among themselves, insulting themselves, making wild allegations, in fact, criminal allegations at each other. So please, maybe Mr. Tango, you're not in this country. It was never them and then the NDC. You see, you posed 2 questions to him. You couldn't answer. You asked that you have plans of making sure that you go to court for a certain crooked and a weird interpretation of Article 66. He said that, the MPP cannot set questions for us to answer. You again asked him that you have plans to kick off the Electoral Commission and her deputies. He again swerved and danced around the question. I am telling you, because they have said it. The national chairman of the NDC on Accra Radio said it. He said that they were going to clear them. Mr. Pakbande is on record to have said so. Look, I have the video. I will send it to you. Mr. Mahama said that at that time, he wasn't happy with the judiciary and that the Chief Justice then, she was going to change it. I have the tape, I have the video. Don't change this. And it is all over. So I'm surprised why you want to change it. So please, on the issue of Charlotte Osei, this is a clear matter of the president advertising his intentions of removing the Chief Justice, and immediately he is given power. They sponsor people to petition for her removal.
But it's all set for that protest coming up on the 5th of May. Have you notified the police? Have they given you assurances they'll be there for you?
Yes, we I know we're going to meet them sometime next week, but we send a letter today. Our route will be from Jamestown through to the Supreme Court area, to the High Court area. We'll go through Parliament, present a petition there. Before then, we'll send a petition to the Supreme Court, and then we will proceed to the Jubilee House to also present a petition there. Everybody, all of us must be part of this. Our judiciary is under attack. Democracy is under attack.
So you're advertising without clearance from the police, really?
No, we don't need clearance. We only need notification. So we must clear that. We don't need clearance from the police. We need notification. So you must notify the police 5 clear days before the said demonstration. And that is exactly what we have done.
Thank you. Let me wrap up with Dr. Rashid Tanko Computer. You've heard from the NPP and the concerns they've raised. As a political party, will you be considering a counter-protest or probably a legal action to halt this protest?
No. We are not lawless people like the NPP. We are not lawless people. We are respecters of the law and respecter of the Constitution, 1992 Constitution, because we brought it. And so, therefore, we will not prevent anybody from exercising his constitutional right to demonstrate. We will not do it. In fact, we even demonstrated it today. You remember a group went to court. The police sent a group to court trying to prevent them from demonstrating, that they want to demonstrate about this illegal mining thing.
Yeah.
The learned Attorney General asked that we should not prevent them. He asked the court to strike that kind of thing out and allow them to demonstrate. We have demonstrated it to them. We are not going to prevent anybody from demonstrating, but we don't want hypocrisy. We must face it and let people know that His Excellency John Dramani Mahama is the president. Maybe that's the difficulty they are facing. They don't know that His Excellency is the president. They are still daydreaming. We want to sing it to their head that whether they like or not, he is the president of Ghana. He is clothed with the powers under Article 146 to set a committee and suspend the suspended Chief Justice, and then to proceed with the process. He has not even dismissed the lady. So why are they even crying? Is it the first time an officer is suspended? When Nanado was suspending his ministers and DCs, another thing. Okay. That when nobody see anything wrong with that. When they were bastardizing the judiciary by appointing their party apparatchiks to the higher level, the Supreme Court, that one they didn't see anything wrong with it. Nanabi, I don't know whether he just joined the MPP in 2025. If he was part of it, they should have advised Nana Akufo-Addo that stop supporting our party.
Okay.
When the last one, when can then Minister for National Security warn the Supreme Court about the kind of erratic ruling, the hypocrisy of MPP is legendary.
Well, that's how we wrap up Top Story here on Joy 99.7 FM. We spoke earlier to Henry Nanabuaji, National Organizer of the NPP, and also Dr. Tanko Rashid Computer, Deputy National Director of Elections for the NDC. My name is Fostina Sarfo. Up next, Kweku Asante is taking over to tell us what exactly is happening today.
Yeah.
Kweku,
So
I'm looking forward to your show. Welcome back from Germany, though.
Yeah, man. I want to chill small. Berlin burger, German burger. People see me in town, they call me German burger, man.
Charlie.
Yeah, man.
Your money
Should
come.
I speak German? No, you won't understand. So
No, speak it.
No, please, you won't understand. So on Ghana Connect tonight, Fostina, we are doing a conversation about the removal process of the Chief Justice. There are those who are calling for the process to be made public. We are talking about the citizens' right to know what exactly is going on in some of these processes and some of these things going on behind closed doors. Is holding this process in secret actually damaging the institutions the more? So that's what we are doing right after this break.